All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the second last episode of the first half of the Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 7. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on all the stuff with Negan recently, and this statement, please just make Negan the series lead already. Okay, so I thought we would go ahead and start with this one for this week for kind of the Q&A videos, or just kind of our giving our thoughts and different stuff for Walking Dead after episode 6. So now we're getting ready for episode 7, and you guys can certainly leave any other Q&A questions you have below, maybe about Eugene and the radio, or just how you're feeling right now about the Walking Dead series, and some predictions for the mid-season finale. We did our review for episode 6, we did our predictions for episode 7, and so in this one, we're going to give our thoughts on Negan being just the damn series lead of The Walking Dead at this point now. So everybody seems to be really enjoying kind of seeing the last couple episodes with Negan once he kind of got free. So once he got free of the cell, everybody just kind of feeling like, man, you know, things became a lot more enjoyable once Negan got out, right? So T. Gilly says, Negan once again saving the show, LOL. Loved every interaction between him and Beta. I'd have to say, man, and I'm not sure if it's just me, you guys can leave your comments below, because the thing is that I love Negan, I always have, you know, for The Walking Dead. Even in the comics, I have so much fun, you know, reading Negan, and just anything Negan is involved with, I enjoy it very much, and I just think it's like infinitely, you know, just fun. Like the fun factor is just there, and especially now since he's not like kind of a hardcore bad guy where everybody hates him so much. There are still people that do hate Negan, and they're not, you know, a fan of him because of course they can't get over, you know, you go back to like Glenn and Abraham and the whole thing, but everybody else pretty much who can, I think, is really enjoying getting to see Negan in the series. Of course, right now for the Walking Dead television series, after Rick's leave, we pretty much, it sort of, without anybody saying so, even against Norman Reedus' wishes, it sort of switched from Rick is the lead, of course he's gone, after episode 5 of season 9, to then it was Daryl as the lead, right? And it's kind of like, if you look at the second half of season 9 with the fight between Beta and Daryl, and if you look at kind of the scenes after the time skip where Carol kind of sees Daryl again, he's living on his own with dog and everything, he kind of, you know, without anyone saying so, sort of becomes the lead of The Walking Dead after Rick had gone. But, you know, and I do love Daryl. I love seeing Daryl. I love all the stuff they do with Daryl. But in this episode, if you look at episode 6, where Daryl and Carol kind of go out and that kind of stuff, it's still cool. Like, he guts the one zombie and he covers himself in the blood and stuff like that, and it's fun to see around, and he's doing his usual grunting and stuff, and he has been talking a little bit more. They use Connie for that a little bit, which is good. But I just gotta say, man, Negan is so much more fun than Daryl. At least for me, and that's of course nothing against Norman Reedus. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's that type of character. He's kind of that sort of strong, silent type where, you know, and he'll talk a little bit more now, and he's starting to more. He kind of has to, just based on who you have in the series and everything. So Daryl's awesome. We all love Daryl. We'll always love Daryl. But especially after these last 2 episodes, when I look at like this half season already, because there's only 2 episodes left, when I think about the highlights of this half season, for me, it's all Negan stuff. The entire thing, like okay, you know, like let's look at the season so far, right? You start things off, you have the satellite crashing, so that was cool. You have you know, a whole bunch of walkers with the fire and everything. You have the walkers kind of coming in the waves, which was a really cool kind of thing that they did, and maybe part of a highlight of this first half season. But aside from that, like after dealing with that and the stuff with the Whisperers, Carol trying to shoot Alpha and stuff like that was pretty good too. Her being chased back by some of the Whisperers that we thought were hallucinations was cool. But man, definitely the highlight for this half season, for me at least, for this year so far, has to be everything with Negan, even the stuff with Brandon, and afterwards, especially the stuff with the Whisperers. The most fun stuff we have seen of the whole year, I think. No question. Bamtastic Wow says, Trev Q&A, do you think Negan is really siding with the Whisperers, or is he just trying to get close so he can turn on them? Can't ever imagine Negan being loyal to anybody, no matter how crazy Alpha is. Yeah, see, that's why it's so exciting, right? You're just not sure what Negan's going to do. You just have no idea. It's sort of like the Merle effect, right? Like with Merle, you never know. I think Denai Greer said in an interview that she never knew what Michael Rooker was going to do, because sometimes they'd go into scene and he'd just go and do something like weird, and it would just turn out awesome and that kind of stuff, like with Merle. And Negan's got the same thing, right? Negan is like he's a lot like Merle in a lot of ways, but probably smarter and less trashy, right? So than Merle was. That's true. But it's fun to see Daryl talk about Merle too, because that's good stuff. I got to admit that there. But it's true with Negan. You don't know, right? Like, you don't know who Negan is loyal to. You really don't. You don't know if he is. Is it entirely possible in the television series version they could kind of make him actually want to be a Whisperer and be loyal to the Whispers and be loyal to Alpha? Well, I guess so, but I come back to, I think Negan has a great relationship with Judith. I think he's sort of, in all those years that he was there, and even back, if you guys remember, when Judith was like, really small and stuff, and he'd sit there, and it was kind of like, that was a great part that they did in season 7? Yeah, season 7, where he visits Alexandria, and, Rick is like terrified, because here you have this crazy guy who bashes people's heads in with a baseball bat, and he's got Judith, and he's like, bouncing her on his knee, that kind of thing, right? So, but I really do get the sense that, it's kind of hard to tell with Negan which parts are genuine and which parts aren't. He has admitted now that he never intended to kill Carl, or at least it doesn't seem like he ever intended to. Maybe if he got ticked off enough, it would have taken a lot, but maybe at some point he would have actually, gone for Carl. People argue that one right now. But I get the sense that with regards to the Whisper thing, that Negan has such a strong relationship with Judith as sort of a fatherly type of figure for her, and he does genuinely care for her and everything, that he will not go against them. He will not go against the survivors, even if they threw him in a cell and everything like that after everything he did before. I do get the sense that, just like similar to the comic version, right, he's joining the Whisperers as a plan, as an attempt here to get a chance to maybe take out either Alpha or maybe Beta. We'll have to see what happens in the TV series version and what they decide to go with. They could remix it from the comic version, or it could be very similar, and we'll just have to see which one they go with. But so far, definitely the stuff I'm enjoying the most of the season, and I'll go with the idea is that Negan is going to try to weaken the Whispers, and he's going to try to get these survivors some vengeance against the Whisperers for what's happening. And also, if you look at the people getting sick and everything like that, maybe Carol has kind of the right idea. Maybe Michonne's idea of just trying to abide by Alpha's rules and trying to abide by what the Whisperers tell them to do is really not going to work long term. You have the Whisperers poison them, doing stuff like that. Now, they don't all know about that. In fact, I don't think Sadiq and Dante even know about that at all, that's they're doing in the water. But it's kind of like, with Carol capturing one of them, we'll see if they take him back for questioning this episode and how that goes, and if he'll, at any point in time, with enough pain or something, will turn on Alpha and give them some information. At least maybe they could find out if he could tell them that they've been poisoning the water, so that's why everybody's kind of getting sick. But it is strange that they're drinking the water without boiling it first, because if they did boil it, I would think that would eliminate all the bacteria from it, which is it is a bit strange. American Woman commented about that one, said, everyone getting sick because Aaron did nothing watching Gamma chop up 2 walkers in their water supply. What the heck? Why don't they boil their frickin' water? It's stupid, right? So I guess, yeah, you're right. Like, they should be boiling it. It's strange that they're not. Maybe they just don't realize it, and it's something where they just are lazy or something, or they're just using it and it comes in through some kind of pump system in Alexandria, because it is one of those, a jumped up type of, suburban, $500,000 to $1 million house type of communities. So sitting pretty at the end of the world. There's a season 3 quote, right? But maybe it's just like, that's just what it is, and they never thought about it, so they haven't boiled it. They haven't been doing that, and as a result, or maybe they boil most of it, but some of it not, and that's how people are getting sick, and you have, lots of people there. It's only a matter of time before somebody dies and turns and then starts to go after the others while Sadiq is in his PTSD state and people are zombified eating each other. It's bound to happen. It's like, unpreventable at this point. And we have Alex B, who says, yes, bring me a measuring tape on account of my humongous balls. So it's great, man. There's so many good like one-liners in the episode and everything. I'm ready for my goddamn skin suit, right? Awesome comes in. I love Caveman Negan. Caveman Negan, it might be my favorite Negan yet, right? Absolutely. Alicia the Dead says, I thought Alpha was going to kiss Negan when he went on his knees. And that's true, man. And I think a lot of people thumbed that one up, that it did kind of feel that way, or at least you got that vibe that she wasn't just impressed with Negan, but she was like very impressed by Negan, right? So, and it was an awesome introduction, right? You know, everybody doesn't expect him there. All the Whisperers are standing around being whispery, and then he comes in, you know, all boisterous, and he's got the thing, and he's like, you know, this is awesome, right? And then, you know, the way she looks at him and everything is really cool. So I like that. That was really good for sure. Next is Antonio Aragon, who says, I thought it was Althea on the radio as well. So there's one for fear, right? So that I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that I'm not losing my mind, and that the voice on the radio actually did sound at least a little bit like her. Which, like I said in the video prediction or the review, I don't think it was her. Like, I don't think it is her. You know, and that's what I'm saying. But I got the vibe for a second. My mind thought about it. It was like, oh, that kind of sounds like her. That's strange. Now, is it possible that it could be, and they could remix that from the comics, and it isn't Stephanie, a new character like this? That'd be cool, man, if they could do something with that. But I don't know in terms of timeline how that would link up. Of course, with Fear and the way it kind of ended off, they're in the Virginia thing, so they have that, and so we'll have to see how that whole thing kind of plays out. And then it's many years later where the Walking Dead group is at right now. So if it is her, it'd be like way in the future, and they'd have to kind of, Gimple would have to work it out well, how it could kind of sink in from the one series to the other, and you get more of these crossover ideas. I think the more crossovers they do is pretty much the better, as long as it doesn't get like too crazy or anything. But I think Chandler Riggs has said that he thinks that it'll all kind of culminate into some kind of big crossover movie event where you get like everybody from all the different series in one movie or one event or something like that. Like Morgan could be reunited with Rick again, who's reunited with the others again, and then there's some kind of happy ending or something like that. Like it all kind of comes together as some kind of big kind of meeting point or something. And man, I'd love if they could coordinate something like that. It'd be difficult to kind of sort out, you know, to have everybody kind of come in, or at least a good number of them. But it could be worth it, and it could be something really cool if they can find a way to kind of work that out and do that. So I hope so, yeah. So, yeah. So there's that one, and then, okay, so TobyTVofficial questioned my score for episode 6 and said, 7.8, you call yourself a Walking Dead fan? Hell no, right? So, and a few people did too. So I'll explain, I'll defend my score for episode 6, and I'll explain that I loved the stuff with the Whispers and Negan so much that I'd watch that again a couple times. I watched that again a few times because it's that much fun. It's definitely the highlight of the episode. The reason why I just gave it a 7.8, which is very low, even lower than I usually give to like a Fear or other series too, is because the other stuff was so dry for me. Anyway, I didn't really care. The Carol and Daryl stuff I thought was like mediocre at best. Considering you have Carol and Daryl, usually that should be awesome, and it just was okay. It wasn't anything amazing for me in the episode. It was just all right. Not every scene can be incredible like the Negan stuff with the Whisperers. Not everyone can be like that, but that stuff was all right. The stuff with Eugene on the radio was also just okay, as you would expect it to be. It wasn't anything like, you know, it wouldn't be, it's not set up to be something that would be that spectacular. But then, of course, in addition to that, the stuff back at Alexandria with Sadiq and Dante and Rosita and everybody getting sick. Out of everybody there, there's very few characters I actually care about. And that one for me is really weird because you have all these people here, you have all these older people getting sick and this whole thing, but they have killed off so many characters in the last couple of years in Walking Dead. And, you know, they've done what they had to do to make it, you know, shocking and everything and have the Pikes and all that. But it's just weird to me to watch those parts where you don't have that. I guess you didn't have Aaron either in those sequences there. So I just felt like, you know, who cares, sort of. I mean, a little bit, right? You know, it's kind of like you should, but I just thought it was like, yeah, it's okay. It's not. So I'm starting to like Sadiq more. I like Dante; he's decent. The Rosita thing with all the guys around is like, you know, like I said in the review, it's not. I find it a bit overkill. I mean, not that it couldn't happen in a zombie apocalypse, something like that could happen. I mean, it certainly could and probably would with someone like Rosita, sure. But it's just I don't know. Basically, so what I'm saying is the reason why I scored it that way is because I thought all the stuff with Negan and that was so awesome with the Whispers. But everything else was like, and everything else was most of the episode. The stuff with Negan and the Whispers was only like, what was it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of the episode, out of the whole episode. Everything else in the episode for me was just like, whatever. Not filler, but almost halfway to filler, right? So that's why. So that's the way I rate it. I rate it honestly. I rate it openly. I don't really, try to. It's Walking Dead to me, so you guys know. I mean, obviously my shirt, background, everything. You guys know I love Walking Dead. That's not the case. But I also try to be honest as well, too, and try to say, like, okay, this was amazing, but everything else kind of sucked. At least wasn't. Everything else was like, whatever. People sitting around, eating bread and stuff like this is like, I don't know, whatever. It's cool. It's an episode 6. What do you expect? It's not going to be anything too crazy. Kidman104 says, hey, Trev, big fan. Why do you think they're focusing so much on Siddiq this season? The character's complete trash and annoys the hell out of me with his PTSD shit. So, there's other people who don't like Siddiq that much, too. I'm starting to like him more than I used to, but at the same time, it's still not that much. I still look at him as like, okay, they brought him in and they killed off Carl to bring him in. Carl died saving him. I like Carl, man, and Siddiq, it's not his fault. It's just like, I just feel like I'd rather have Carl any day of the week. If we could have Carl in those scenes, man, fuck, it's so much better. Like, you just had him there. I don't care, Chandler, whatever, just put him in there. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too late now. You can't go back, Bob. But if you just put him in there and had him in those scenes with everybody around and stuff, it'd be so much better. And nothing against Siddiq. It's just like to have one of those OG characters in that sequence. It's almost like each location, you should have at least one of your OG Walking Dead survivors there. But the problem is, some of them are moving on. A lot of them get killed off. So, you got to bring in new. Siddiq's only been in the series for a couple years now. So I'm starting to like him more. It's not like he did anything wrong or anything. Well, we'll find out if maybe that's the case. Unless the theory is right about him having to kill somebody to survive himself. Then we're all going to really hate him, right? Well, sort of, at least. In a way, we might feel like he's kind of a victim too, because maybe it's even worse. Anyway, we can discuss that one, but it's probably not going to go away. Given they've got to build on the other characters, they've got to do what they've got to do. Dante as well too, and so it's it's not too bad. I don't want to say it's terrible or anything. It's just everything I said I would say stands. Is what it is. Last one will be from Tom's Noctur, who says Siddiq in the tower. I think he's on borrowed time, so he thinks Siddiq is going to be killed off. I don't think Siddiq will be killed off, or if he is, maybe it could be a big character death for like the second half of the season. And people would say, well, Trev, if they kill Siddiq, it's not a big character death. It's like, well, at this point, it kind of is, because you don't have that many to begin with, right? Like, who do you have that would be a really huge character death? You're not killing off Daryl or Carol. You're not killing off Negan if you can help it, if you can do anything about it to help it. So, you go down the list, it's like, at this point, if you killed Siddiq off, it'd be a pretty big character death. So maybe that's where they are going with it, and that's why he's getting so much time. Or maybe that's not the case, and it's just they're giving him more time because he's going to be a very important character later on, which is possible too, right, as well too. So it's what it is. He's starting to grow on me, but I got to see what he had to do in order to survive out that, because he did survive the Pike scene. He's the only one who did, and why is that? Did he play the game? Did he do something he shouldn't be doing? Did he, cower to Alpha and the others instead of fighting till the last, I don't know, to the nail, to the very last minute? I guess we'll have to see how that whole sequence played out. And we probably will see pretty soon. If you guys like this video, please thumb it up below. Let me know what you think, first and foremost, of Negan. And if you think you should just leave the whole damn series at this point. And that's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev. Saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.